can hear you, and he says your audio sounds really good, by the way.
No, 10-4. No, I can't hear him at all. I must be in a dead spot or something, unless you come in contact with him on the phone or something. But yeah, if you're on the Omni right now receiving me, I should come up to 7. I think I'm usually normally around 7 or 8. I think that's about normal for the amount of power I'm running. Still running about the same amount of power.
Roger. Yeah, no, I'm literally on the Omni, not the Jam Pros or anything like that. I'm on the 5/8 wave on the roof, and the tip of the 5/8 wave got broken off by something. I don't know if it was wind or an owl or something of that nature. So, I got the antenna turned down too. The gain on the antenna was turned down. Go ahead and hit it again. Let me see what I got you at.
Okay. Yeah. See if that made a difference right there. Now, do you have the SDR set at 5K wide on either side of the carrier as well?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, 10-4. All right. So, what do you think? How much audio or signal strength am I putting on you now with the gain adjusted there?
5 on the dead key and just hovering, just a hair above 5, but right at 5S units. And let's see what that was. That was, Josh isn't keying up. He's recuperating from a nasty flu over there on the couch, so he's just listening. So he says hello to you right now, and he says that you're at 5K on each side on your signal, looking at the 7300 as well, and that's what I see on my side too.
Yeah, 10-4. Okay, yeah, just checking. Yeah, it's pretty rough to get up in that up on the gate. 5S units. That's not that great. But yeah, it's enough to where I can take a listen to it later on, see what I think about the audio. But yeah, I set this one up just a couple days ago. I've been more or less kind of in the same kind of ballpark area with it the last couple months or so. But do you hear any semblance or anything weird going on in the low end with this one?
No, it sounds really good over here. I'm liking the sound. Let me see if I can play this. I don't know if my playbacks are going to work. I got to go push a button. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to try to play you back. Let me see if I can figure out all this audio I got on here from the whole day. All right. Where is it? That's weird. Hold on.
Ballpark area with it the last couple months or so. But do you hear any semblance or anything weird going on in the low end with this one?
That's what I hear right there. I think that's a better indication of what's going on. But the YouTube will let you hear better. But no, it sounds pretty good over here.
Hello, Motormouth Mall. Willie with the wave is gone.
Hey, Willie with the wave. Good to hear you up in there. You smoking. I was talking to Bobby Boucher over here in Santa Maria. I don't know if you can hear him or not. He's in a big truck. High five, big truck to break.
Oh, yeah. All I can get right there is you, Motormouth Mall. You got that hammer down. I'm just hooking up some radios and trying them out, see how it sound, no doubt about it. Motormouth Mall, give me a radio check, breaker.
Sure, I'll give you a radio check, and I'll give you a comparison. Bobby Boucher, go ahead and key up.
All right, it's doing a little key up for a little comparison. We got this little wide-banded 18-wheel mobile transmitting, doing its thing, breaker.
All right, and then here comes the playbacks. I'm going to go ahead and put those back to back. So I'll get rid of me and put you in there back to back.
All I can get right there is you, Motormouth Mo. You got that hammer down. I'm just hooking up some radios and trying them out, see how it sound, no doubt about it. Motormouth Mo, give me a radio check, breaker.
All right, doing a little key up for a little comparison. Got this little wide-banded 18-wheel Mobile transmitting, doing its thing, breaker.
There you go, and that's how the wideband sounds versus not wideband, and you sounded good there, Willie. Motormouth Mall cruising, you sound good as well. Bobby Boucher, Motormouth Mall cruising this thing.
Yeah, right, Motormouth Mall, no doubt about it. Good old Bobby Boucher, Wicked Willie did there, have a good weekend. These guys put it on
Bartender Wicked Willie, around the top side of the mag, you said you're waving 4 friendly fingers and a thumb to Bobby Boucher, and Bobby Boucher, hope you got that 5. Radio station Motormouth Mall, keeping it all the way alive. Hey, Bobby Boucher, this channel gonna get this channel gonna get hopping their break.
Yeah, 10-4, it's already getting bad. I'm barely able to get you in right now, man. Yeah, it's rough and tough. It's too bad you didn't have an antenna to get out this way, but that's all right. Well, maybe next time we roll through town or something, you know?
Well, if it was tomorrow or the next day, I would likely have it, but I'm not set up right now to work on it, and what happened was I got these 2 drums. You know, there's a spool on the mast and a spool on the rotor, which is a motor, offset motor, not a rotor like most rotors. And I had multiple wraps. I had the cable coming off of the main spool, and it went to the other one, then wrapped around a couple times, and then I had the other cable coming off the other side, and it went the opposite way, and it wrapped around a couple times. And the reason I wrapped it a couple times is so that I could overshoot center, or overshoot 360 degrees, so I could turn it one way and go to, past 360, and I could turn it the other way and go past 360, and that way, it was good. But anyway, what it did was it left too much slack in the line as the wind blew and changed and all that stuff. And every time I would pull up some slack, it would wind more of itself around the spool, and it got tighter and tighter and tighter. And so I'd give it some more slack, and then it would wind more of it up. Because what was happening was the wind was grabbing the antenna and trying to twist the antenna. And so that spool was becoming the take-up spool, right? And it became the controlling spool, and it was eating up all the slack that I gave it. So anyway, the next time around, I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna just go from the 6 o'clock position of one spool up to the 12 o'clock of the other spool, and the 12 o'clock of the other spool from opposite sides, and just lock it down. And that way, I won't be able to get that last wedge about 8 or 10 degrees or 8 degrees. But I'm going to put that 8 degree that I can't get to out toward the northwest, way northwest. And that way, it won't hamper my ability to move the antenna. It won't have any slack that it can take up, and it should be a lot more controllable and last right. So anyway, that's what's going on over here. Yeah, kind of crazy. By the way, how do you like this audio? Hey, Bobby Boucher, can I go a little bit more on there? I could probably go up a little bit higher on the audio. But what do you think about that audio there, Brady?
Yeah, it sounds good. Doesn't have, that normal deeper bass kind of sound that you normally have. But it sounds real clean and clear. I like the reverb up in there. So it's a little more reverb than you normally run, but I like that, man. It sounds good. Yeah, it's got good mid-range articulation. Yeah, it's good. It's up there with about as good as I've heard you. It's a little different, but not any better, not any worse. It's good and just a little bit different than what I normally hear you.
Roger, yeah. It's the reverb is funny. I think most of that, hello, all reverb is in the room, believe it or not. I've got no reverb, no processors creating reverb. To verify that, make sure I'm not lying. Where was it? Where's the isotope? Reverb is right. Down here. Oh, no, I do have it turned on. Okay, I take that back. Yeah, I do have it turned on. Let me see where we're at. We're at 10%. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit because I really don't want that much up in there. And I added some compression since then, so I'm going to drop this reverb down here to about, 3.5%, 4%. Somewhere down here like that right there should sound better. Bobby Boucher, Motor Mouth Mall cruising.
Yeah, it does sound a little bit better with the knockdown a bit. I like it when it's up, to where it sounds a little bit bigger, I try to keep mine, I think probably about where you just actually put yours. I don't know. I mean, I tend to not run a whole lot up in there. But I was going to ask you too now, does it sound like I got enough bottom end in this audio?
It does to my speakers, my ears, and my headphones. Yeah, you got plenty of bottom.
Okay, yeah, the reason I asked is I just switched headphones. My other headphones that I've been using for quite a while started falling apart on me. And so I had an old pair in storage, and I pulled those out, and they're very, very different. I mean, extremely different. And so I'm not used to these new ones yet. And so, I set this audio chain up according to how it sounds in the new headphones. And so I'm not really sure as far as where the limit is on the low end, how much I can run without it turning into like garble in somebody's receive. It's kind of a fine line. I mean, you can get away with so much to a certain point, and then you go past that little threshold and it just turns to garble. Not so much like on a SDR receiver or a wideband receive, but like, in a stock receiver. And that's pretty much what I cater to. So yeah, I was just curious, if it sounded like it was enough, and I'm not really interested in running a whole lot more, just make sure I'm not overdoing it there, Roger.
I think you had a good balance right now. And I tried to listen to you on my stock receiver, and all I got was a bunch of bleed over and noise, and not enough signal on frequency to be able to hear you on the stock receiver. So all I got you on is the SDR, but it sounds phenomenal. It sounds good. There's plenty of bass. It doesn't sound overwhelming at all, and it doesn't sound like it's wanting anymore either. So that sounds good. Somebody out there said, Motormouth Mall, why are you what? Why am I on this channel? What were you asking?
Motormouth Mall, 29 Georgia.
10-9 Georgia. Hello to you. I heard you up in there. It's good to see you up in there, break.
Have a good day, 29. See ya.
What in there? See ya. 29 Georgia. Motormouth Mall, waving and stepping. Big ol' wave right back at you there, break. And that bleed over is insane. Hey, I don't know how much bleed over you're hearing there, but there's a lot of bleed over up in there. Bobby Boucher, Motormouth Mall, stepping.
Yeah, it's rough and tough right now, John. I'm getting some massive bleed over and people coming in and whatnot. Let me try to find another channel, see if I can find something a little bit quieter.
Okay, I can't go out of band. I'm on a 29LX that is stuck on this frequency, so I can't go anywhere. So, on 240.
Yeah, 10 Roger. I have plenty of receive. I've got my receive to the East Coast turned off. I'm trying to talk to a local over here in town, so I got plenty of receive. Sorry about that. Just trying to hear something different. Hey, John, sounds like channel 8's a little bit quieter.
right, sounds good. Try that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, we're getting, we're kind of stuck between the bowl and channel 11, kind of getting bleed over from both directions now. So I don't know. We'll try it for a little bit, see how it goes.
10-4 sounds good. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to hide out here. If I was on an antenna pointed your way, it'd be a lot easier. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 10-4. I heard somebody, I think they're a local. Somebody out here around Santa Maria, go ahead there. Did you hear that station, John?
No, I listened. I even tried the flat side on the, whatever I could do, and I didn't hear anything out there. I was hoping maybe Jelly Belly would get out there, or Grandpa Jones.
Yeah, they were in there. I think it might have been Skip. They came in pretty strong just before you keyed up, and they were in there with you a little bit. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think. Normally we want all this Mother Nature, but right now I think it's working against us.
Roger. That was Josh. That was 302. Give a listen again. I'll stand by. That was 302 over there on his on the 7300.
Hey, 302. Boy, I barely got you up in there, man. It's rough out here. But I heard you up in there. How you doing? I'm over here off of Betaravia and the 101. I'm about, I would say, about a mile and a half east of the 101, right off of Betaravia. Yeah, 10-4.
Oh, I heard him doing the Armstrong antenna move technique, okay? Very cool. Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes, he's looking east and I'm talking east and he records me. And I can be running full tilt, 3 kilowatts. And I get stepped on like I'm not even there, Rick.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just being in the right angle line of fire, I guess, right?
Yep, exactly. And when I key down, do you hear my relay?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I can hear it. I've been noticing that on your gates for quite a while now. I like it. It's kind of unique. I mean, when I hear that, and I think it's probably true for everybody that hears it, it's going to be you because it has a certain tone and the amount of delay that's in there. So I think it's pretty cool.
10-4. Yeah, it's still using the RE20. Wonder if Josh got his his antenna turned.
Yep, you came up there pretty good, man. A lot better. Just pretty much right in there. There's about the same amount of signal strength as John is. So I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get right now with all these conditions right now, Yeah, 10-4. Well, then you got a real good signal on me. How does this audio sound over there? Do you hear anything that might need adjusting? Anything that sounds a little bit out of whack? Or, you can't hurt my feelings with this stuff, man. It's just audio. I don't mind getting in there and making changes. But what are you hearing on your end? 10-4, all this low end's coming in because it's not getting filtered out because your wideband receive. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I do try to cater to, I do cater to just a standard receiver. So you definitely got to run a little bit more low end to get through the filtering of those. Same thing with the highs. You're probably you're definitely hearing more highs and lows in my audio than what a typical receiver would. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got a Cobra 29 as the classic, that's wide open, and then the Icon 7300 that's wide open, and
Yeah, 10-4. All right, good deal. So yeah, have I talked to you before? I mean, you seem familiar. I can't really place it. It's been a while. Yeah, that's cool. Now, I've only known John for about 9 years. And so, yeah, so you were probably off the radio before I started coming into town. So, yeah, 9 years, John. Doesn't seem that long, right?
That's a trip and a half. That is absolutely amazing how time flies.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, it's good to meet you, 302. Good to hear you out here. Your audio sounds really good over here, man. Definitely hear that wideband audio sound. I like that. Yeah, it's rough. Now, John, can you hear 302?
It depends on the amount of bleed over I get, and the signal does fluctuate. Even though we're close, it actually comes and goes a little bit. So I do hear them 70% of the time, I would say.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, 302, now do you have a YouTube channel where you post your video gates?
no, I don't, but I do know that
Yeah, that'd be great. Just let me know when you're ready for that. Okay, it's B as in Baker, J as in Jackal, M as in Michael, C as in cat, C as in cat, C as in cat, at gmail.com. So it's BJMCCC. Oh, okay. So I'm hitting you off the side of my truck. Yeah, these trucks are pretty directional. I'm actually, most of my signal's going straight south. So I'm hitting you at about the weakest angle, transmitted strength-wise on this truck. So he said it's about 15 or 20 over, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he's stuck pointing east, northeast. So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 10-4, that sounds good, man. I definitely appreciate that. You still got a copy on me out there, John?
Oh, yeah. Somebody out there whistling and squealing and wanting to be a signal generator or something, I guess. They're trying to identify as a signal generator. Anyway, yeah, I still hear you. I lost Josh pretty much altogether temporarily. And what did you say my signal strength was at his place, like 10/9 or something like that, or less?
No, he said it was like around 15 or something like that, 15/9.
10/4, okay. Man, I wish I could figure out some way to get a signal back up that way. And get and get vertically polarized. I wish I could do that, but I can't.
Yeah, 10/4. Too many projects going on at one time, right? So I know you're supposed to get that 80-footer up in there. How long are you looking at before you get that one going?
10/4. Yeah, let me get back to you in a second. I got to get something out of the storage unit for Jackie. I'll be back in a bit.
10/4. All right, I'll stand by. You still out there, 302? No, definitely not. Yeah, you definitely want to put that off for a windless day, man. Just especially when you're moving stuff like that around, man. It doesn't take much. Even a 5-mile-an-hour wind can be dangerous, you know. No, I'm just sitting over here. This is a spot where I usually park to talk to John, try to get into his antenna up there on the hill. No, we gotta run out to Guadalupe here in just a little bit. Got to pick up a load of lettuce out there, and so yeah. Right now I'm just parked in the parking lot. I run a couple of Predator 10Ks. I co-phase them because it makes the truck less directional. Still directional, but not as bad as if you have an antenna on one side of it. But I took 4 antennas, 2 Predator Bad to the Bones, and 2 Predator regular 10Ks. And so I mixed and matched parts to get them to tune better, better reactance, better ohm load, and complex impedance and all that. So, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, I've had these on here for a better part of 8 years now, and they're still doing about as good. I mean, I've tried probably 15, 20 different antennas and probably 80 different combinations, and so far, this is about as good as it gets on this truck, I think. Yeah, they're mounted to the mirrors, so the base of the antenna is only about probably, 4 feet off the ground. Yeah, we delivered down there in LA, and so we'll pick up here and then go back out to Kingman, Arizona after we pick up. So it's kind of the same, kind of the round and round kind of thing, we do. We go in this big old circle, and it's cool. We get to stay out here on the west side. I mean, I've had my share of driving back east, when I was younger and everything, so it's nice to have that regional thing. Yeah, it's getting pretty rough right now. No, I've been running Reaper for probably 3.5, 4 years now. So I tried Live Professor when I first started doing this about 5 years ago. Then I switched over to Ableton Live, and I didn't like that either. And it just So I ended up using Reaper, and yeah, I really like Reaper. It's I'm used to it. You know, I mean, DAW is going to be a DAW, whatever you like. I mean, they're all going to sound pretty much the same. That's not really a thing, but as far as usability and stability, Reaper is rock solid, man. It never crashes on me or does anything wonky, so that's what I've stuck with.
I've got two computers. The computer in the Radio Shack is
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good though, man. It sounds really good. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's, you know, finding, you know, like the computer that I'm using, it's a small form factor computer. It's about the size of a Cobra 29 or so. You know, it's not big or anything. I don't have a lot of room in this truck. But, you know, I mean, it runs, it's pretty fast. It's 16 cores, 16 gigs of RAM, and you know, it clocks out at like 4.3 gigahertz, but I've got it set up and optimized to run at a constant 3.7 gigahertz, so it's fast enough. It's got plenty of memory and everything for what I'm doing, but yeah, it works really good, you know, solid state drive, just a kind of a normal run-of-the-mill kind of thing, but I definitely don't have any problems with it, you know, in this truck. Yeah, it'll run at 4.3 gigahertz per individual core, but I've got Reaper set up so it's accessing all 16 cores, and so the top clocked out speed I can get on all 16 cores at once, you know, at the same time is 3.7 gigahertz, which is still faster than it needs to be, you know. So the computer, I mean, I'm only at 9% CPU and like 4 or 15% memory, so there's a lot of headroom, so it's just kind of cruising along, you know. Yeah, 10 port, Windows 10 Pro. I've had this computer for a couple years now, and they're actually starting to do away with Windows 10. Everything's switching over to Windows 11, and I'm not going to switch. I don't want to do that. The only downside to that is you stop getting security updates for it, you know, OS updates. But yeah, at that point, it's almost better to buy another computer. I don't know how well this would work with Windows 11 in the past. You know, I've switched to the next operating system on a machine that was designed for another operating system. Like if you buy one that's, you know, like this came with Windows 10, and so the hardware is optimized for that. You know, and when you switch to the latest and greatest operating system, I've had trouble in the past with that. So I don't know. I might be forced to go to Windows 11 at some point. And if it doesn't work on this computer, then I'm going to end up having to get another one. Not really looking forward to that, but, you know, kind of is what it is. Yeah, you know, you got to be able to get the latest security updates. Otherwise, you know, you're kind of wide open to hackers and, you know, stupid people doing stupid things. And so it's definitely not worth trying to keep an old machine for, you know, for the sake of saving a few bucks. Because if somebody gets in and gets your, you know, important information, you know, bank account, credit card, identity, social security, anything, you know, that can end up costing a lot more in the long run. Yeah, it's pretty strange. One machine likes one thing and another one doesn't. But yeah, you know, computers these days are coming down pretty inexpensive, you know, especially refurbished ones, you know. You can get pretty good performance, you know, more than enough for pretty cheap. You know, these days, you know, like I was saying, I mean, you can go, I don't know, Best Buy. I'm not sure if they sell refurbed or not. They might. A lot of places do. Sometimes you can get a really good deal. Yeah, 10-4. Well, you know, man, the splatter, the bleed over is getting real rough right now. I barely got you in on that last one.
Yeah, I got the stuff out of storage for Jackie and all that stuff. So I'm back. And yeah, the PC I use, by the way, I've been listening to you guys talk about the processing PCs and all that. I use the i7 Optiplex. That was a Amazon product I get, you know, a purchase. It was like $279 for, I want to say it was 8 gigs of RAM, i7 processor, and a solid state drive. It works really well for what I need. I've got, I mean, right now it's just ridiculous. You're sitting down there, Bobby, I'm going to tell you how many plugins I've got running right now. And very little delay. Version 2 Live Professor. And I'm running, let's see here. Where's the view of all of them? Forget where they are. Q, wire, patch, change. Oh, crap. Well, I guess I'll just look at it this way. View. Navigator. Okay. This phone doesn't let me see all of them. I gotta make the Navigator window bigger. Oh my God, this is insane. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I've got 25 plugins operating right now. 25. And this PC is chugging right. They're all isotopes. And some of them are doing very little. But they're all turned on and they're all operating.
Wow, 25 plugins. That's a record. Yeah, that's a lot. I think I'm running, I don't remember if it was 12 or 14. But to be fair, 5 of those plugins are dealing with background noise in this truck. You know, I mean, I've got 3 gates and 2 noise suppressors, and they're all attacking the issue of the background noise at from a slightly different angle. They're all set up differently. But none of them are doing a lot, you know, kind of thing. I learned that if you try to get a gate or a noise suppressor to do a lot, it damages the audio pretty bad. I mean, it's rough. So yeah, that's a lot. 25, man. I can't remember. I need to turn my monitor on. I don't remember how many I'm running, but it's 12 or 14. And I thought that was a lot, and it kind of is, but you know, I mean, who defines what's a lot? You know, if you're getting what you want and you're getting the effects you want from each plugin doing the thing that you want it to do, then it is what it is. But I tried getting away with less in the past, and I can't, man. I tried to knock, you know, at least pull 1 gate out or 1 noise suppressor out, and I just can't get away with it. But yeah, you know, it's whatever works and whatever sound that you're getting, you know. If that's the end result you're looking for, then you did it right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have any weird, you know, hissing or excessive gain or weird things going on here. Nothing, you know, horrible, except for I've been told, and I did hear it earlier today, that there's a slight AC hum. But that's not in my audio chain. I can turn that all up. It's on my carrier. It's actually somewhere, and I'm not running the big box, so I know it's not the big box. And it did it when I was barefoot into the demi-load, so I know it's not the little box, or, you know, the driver. So it's something somewhere. I got a little bit of a hum there, but anyway, that's not plug-in related. And you're right, you know, if you get what you want, it is what it is. Some people are totally happy and comfortable with what they get with a single 8-band EQ, and that's it. So what happened that got me down the path that I went down was trying to achieve a little louder signal, achieve more density without sounding like it's more dense. And I think I've done that. I've heard my gate. I think I've heard my audio in comparison to several other stations, even stations that were considerably stronger than myself. And the audio is quite loud. So I think I did achieve what I was looking for and maintain the bandwidth. You know, in the past, if you try to get too loud, you start sacrificing bottom end and bandwidth. And I don't think I've sacrificed. I might have less bottom end than you're accustomed to hearing, but not because I had to pull it out, just because that's the way this session sounds. And so I think I was able to, you know, get the loudness. And it took a few extra plugins to control the wave shape and keep it from overmodulating and all that stuff, and still get the density up in there with the illusion of there being some a degree of what looks like dynamic or sounds like dynamic range, even if I talk quiet or loud. But you can see it really controls the audio quite a bit. It gives quite a lot of density.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, for the amount of signal strength I'm getting on you over here, yeah, it's plenty loud, that's for sure. It's a lot louder than a typical setup, you know. But yeah, you're right. You know, that's the thing too, like with me in this setup, you know, I try to get it loud without sacrificing too much of the tone. I mean, I'm not really willing to give up either. I want to be loud and I want to have a good, full, rich sound. You know, you got to have that low end in there. But of course, you know, the louder you go, the more low end you're going to sacrifice. I mean, it's physics. You can't get around it. But there is a line that you can draw, you know, kind of divide, split the difference a little bit. But yeah, also as far as the bandwidth, you know, I still spread out a little bit beyond, you know, the channel width. down low. If you look at my shoulders right now on the SDR, you can see some of it kind of pushing out, and that's just because of heavy compression. You know, I mean, you can't dissipate all that energy and not have it go somewhere. And so I'm running a lot of compression to get, you know, the effect that I want as far as, you know, getting the volume, perceived loudness, but also to maintain the illusion of dynamic range, because I don't have any real dynamic range. I think my crest factor is like 3 dB, maybe 4, you know, so that's not a lot of dynamic movement, but try to, you know, notch out some of the frequencies to give that separated, articulated kind of sound, and it gives the illusion of having a little bit more dynamic range there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fine line between, you know, the harder you push it, between what you want and what you can have. And the rabbit hole is deep. It can keep going and going and going. So, you know, with majority of receivers being fairly narrow, you know, that's part of what I did was to get the loudness. I had to sacrifice some of the highs too, because as you go louder and louder and louder and you sacrifice more of the bottom end, you start getting too many highs up in there because they don't really stop. They'll keep going if you let them, you know, within reason. But I've got this thing set up pretty narrow right now. You know, on the YouTube video, you'll hear it right now, but if I switch over to my SDR receiver instead of the Drake, you'll hear the SDR right now on the YouTube feed. Is it too quiet? Let me see here. Let me turn the gain up on the SDR. Hello, check. Where is it? Test. Oh, that's weird. I got no, hello, test. Oh, there it is. I got to turn the volume up a little bit more. All right, so now you're listening to the YouTube feed on the, or the SDR feed on YouTube. And if I narrow up my bandwidth from 5 kilohertz down here to about, we'll get down to about 3, I still haven't lost any highs. So all my highs are at 3 and below. But I do keep it, it rolls off gently down to 5, and then it's got a pretty good shoulder. But that was what I had to do to get the loudness. If you try to get those highs up in there, you have to start balancing them out with more lows. Then you got to bring the overall gain down because you got too much lows up in there. So it's a juggling act.
Yep, it's definitely a juggling act. Yeah, that's the thing that I work on a lot. You know, right now I'm running a little bit more lows and a little bit more highs than what I would normally. But the thought behind that is to push more of those lows and highs through a standard receiver because the filtering in a standard receiver. But like, you know, on the SDRs and wideband receivers in general, you know, there's no filtering. I mean, you got a brick wall filtering at whatever you set it at as far as the highs are concerned. You know, that's a vertical line. You know, the filtering in a receiver's, it's a gentle slope, like 12 dB per octave or something like that, so it rolls off. You still get those highs in there, but they're attenuated quite a bit. And so it generally, this should sound a little heavier and a little bit brighter on an SDR receiver than it would in a normal, you know, typical standard receiver.
Oh yeah, absolutely. By the way, I'm curious what happens if I put some music up in there. I'll do some toccata and fugue, just to see if you can hear the bass on the music. Up in there. Anyway, we'll see what it does. 5 kilohertz wide. But when I talk, it's not. But when I play music, I'm all the way out 5 kilohertz.
Okay, yeah, the bass in the music, I think it was...
Sounds good to me.
So, but it was, I could definitely tell that it was like at the ragged edge of stepping over the line of being too much, but it wasn't too much in this receiver. It sounded fine. But yeah, it was pretty heavy sounding, it definitely had some weight to it.
10-4. And somebody else out there said, sounds good to me.
Hey, good morning, Motormouth, my old state line. I'm just rolling through here. I heard you in there doing some testing. Didn't want to hold you up. And I was listening to all your music in there. You got it sounding great, my brother. I'm going to let you roll. Don't want to interfere. Just want to wave out. Breaker.
Sort fan. By the way, state line operator, you're running the modulator right now, and so is Bobby Boucher. Hey, I don't know if you can hear Bobby Boucher over there in the big truck, but he's looking more south than he is east. But if you can hear Bobby Boucher up in there, tell him hello. And by the way, here's Bobby Boucher's signal on my record, as well as yours. Let me get you both up in here.
I can definitely tell that it was like that at the ragged edge of stepping over the line of being too much, but it wasn't too much in this receiver. It sounded fine. But yeah, it was pretty heavy sounding, it definitely had some weight to it.
Hey, good morning, Motormouth, my old state line. I'm just rolling through here. I heard you in there doing some testing. Didn't want to hold you up. And I was listening to all your music in there. You got it sounding great, my brother. I'm going to let you roll. Don't want to interfere. Just want to wave out. Breaker.
And there you go. State line operator, Bobby Boucher, Motormouth Mall, your West Coast Beast. Got down.
Well, sounding good, and I talk to Bobby pretty regularly, and man, he always sounds great in that truck with that modulator, and you do as well, my brother. And now he uses processing similar to what you use, and I'm using rack gear. We're all getting the job done. Hey, Motormouth Mall, my friend Bobby Boucher, 800 waving.
Go ahead there, Bobby. Can you hear 800 state line operator?
Yeah, 10-4. I can hear him loud and clear, but I don't think I can get back to him. I'm pointed too far south. 800, if you got a copy. Bobby Boucher, waving break.
You're getting out here to the Bluegrass State. You're making a trip here.
Yep.
But I'm getting so much bleed over off Channel 6 from the west side. It's tough. But if you hear me, Bobby, good morning to you. Sounding good, brother. Always enjoy talking to you, and enjoy when we catch some good conditions again. Hey, Bobby and Motormouth, I'm waving.
Yeah, 10 Roger. All right, 800. We'll catch up with you another time. I'm sure maybe later on this afternoon or tomorrow. 800, sounding good out here on the west side. Bobby Boucher, back off the key. I'll see you.
Right back, brother. Sounding good as well.
Take care, state line operator. Good to hear you up in there. You're smoking. Beautiful audio. I love what you're doing with that rack gear. Yeah, it goes to show. You can use any kind of method, whether it's rack gear or PC processing, commercial broadcast processing, or doggone Julius Jones, W2IHY, or UR6QW. It makes no difference as long as you get the job done. I got down.
You know what, you're exactly right, and I think I can be an example for your product of how you can do it with rack gear. There's nothing special here. It's just, I call it pawn shop rack gear that I'm using with the modulator. You can, like as you said, you can do it either way. I love the challenge of this. This is definitely a challenge to do it like this, but I love the unique and unusual. Let me get out of the road and let you get done with your testing. You and Bobby both sound great. I'm rolling off the channel and getting out of the road. Breaker.
410, the unusual, unique, and excellent sounding radio you've got there is definitely doing its job. Exquisite sounding audio. Take care. State line operator, Motormouth Mall, your West Coast Beast. Rolling this thing right here. This is a combination of actually both rack gear and PC. I'm using a PC for the majority of the processing, and then I'm going into an Optimod 9100 or 9200 Optimod, digital Optimod. And then I also figured out how to stick a a Volumax 4000 inline. All this to achieve loudness. a Volumax 4000 and a CRL peak controller. And what happened was the peak controller and the Optimod, I had to reverse them. The peak controller is better at controlling absolute peaks, and the Optimod was better at controlling bandwidth. So I'm using one for one thing, one for the other. I'm not using a lot of compression in the Optimod itself, and the Volumax 4000 is doing my overall final compression. So it's kind of a cross between Rat Gear and PC. And I was telling Bobby earlier, I've got 25, or was it 23? I forgot, I counted them anyway. 25 plugins that are all active right now. So, I mean, some of them are doing more, some of them are doing less. But the bottom line is I got a lot going on over here. State line operator, motor mouth mall cruising. I got down.
Okay, you know what, before I go, I'll tell you how simple my setup is. I may have sent you pictures before, but I'm running into a cheap, let's see, what is this? MG06X mixing board, and I use it to go into a compressor. Then I'm coming back, and I use it, it's just in neutral. It was just when I was using the condenser mic, I just needed a plug-in to go straight into the compressor. Then I come out of it into a Soundcraft board, and then back to the modulator. Very simple. I leave myself some headroom in there, and it's just flowing along as simple as it can be, Break.
10-4, well, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I know when I first got into this hi-fi stuff, I had Rat Gear and no PC because I didn't learn about the PC and to think about even using the PC as a processing scheme until I met Prime and saw that he was using Pro Tools. I thought, wait a second, this is cool. So before that, I was doing all Rat Gear, and I was running some Vector Research EQ. I think I had there were two sides of it, so I used one as a pre-EQ, one as a post-EQ. I had a BBE Sonic Maximizer in line. I had a compressor limiter of some sort. I forgot what it was. It was a stereo unit that I used one side as a compressor, and the other side I set up as a limiter. And I believe that's all I had. And then that would go into a preamp, which then was my buffer amp that went into the Johnson Viking 500 or Valiant, either one. And it worked really well. It was super simple and got the job done. So, yep, nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. And you know, being able to learn a little bit more about how that Rat Gear stuff works, so that you can do some experimentation. You know, so you can deviate from where you have it set, and then get back to where you were without messing anything up. That's a bit challenging. Like you say, it ain't the easiest thing in the world, and maybe a bunch of pictures and a pretty good memory. But most important, I think a really good understanding about what each one of the components is doing in the chain and how you get where you got, you know, so you can recreate it again if you deviate or experiment. But that's what it's all about. It's all about having fun to break.
Now, I'll tell you what, the hardest thing for me to grasp and understand was compression, and when I finally got it, I believe that is for anybody, and trying to overcome clipping. And I'll tell you something else, don't be shouting into the microphone. You can see that that'll clip you out regardless of where you are. Just a constant, consistent flow seems to work better for me than anything, despite of all the gear.
Yep, I believe that's true. You know, the area under the curve, getting that consistent without having the clipping occur, and all that is it's a long way of getting exactly what most people want, I believe. So yeah, you definitely got it going on. It sounds beautiful. It's clean. It's clear. It's crisp. I can hear you have more dynamic range than I do in your audio. When you turn your head away, I could hear the audio drop off. If I turn my head like that right there, or if I turn my head like that right there, if I get really close to the microphone, or if I get really far from the microphone, or if I yell into the microphone, it's almost always about the same volume. But that's just the nature of the way I've chose to use the the various different components of the brake.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm using one of these clones, like an SA58 clone, and it's just a cheap mic, and yeah, I'm going to have to go through your junk pile and get your wore out RE20s out. I'm anxious to try one. I just haven't went out and got a hold of one yet, but I'm going to do it.
10-4, you know what I want to try? I want to try an SM7. I've never tried an SM7, but I couldn't bring myself to spending the $400 and some odd dollars or whatever they are to get one just for an experiment. And believe it or not, none of my clients over here at the Central Coast have an SM7 in their studio. So they're all RE20s. We got a couple Sennheisers, and I tried the Sennheiser. It didn't work so well. I didn't like it. The RE20 has been my favorite so far. But I'd love to try an SM7.
No, I'd be anxious to hear it. Me and Bobby Boucher both votes that you go buy one and try it so we can decide whether we want to go spin that brake.
10-4. Well, I think Bobby might have spent the most on his microphone to brake.
No, I don't know what he's got, but he sounds great. But I'm going to tell you what, I don't need to get in the middle of y'all's conversation and mess everything up, because I know you both know what you're doing, and I'm just accidentally rolling around out here. Good morning to both of you one more time while I roll out of the road. Hey, Motormouth Ball and Mr. Bobby Boucher on the west side, I'm gone.
All right, I'm going to get back on the side, let you get back to Bobby. Let Bobby and Josh have at it for a little bit, and we'll get back and be quiet for just a moment. Appreciate you rolling up in there, and yeah, you're totally welcome to get up into the part of the program, the talk show, the whole bit. So, and I am running the YouTube gate, so if you do any changes or make any changes or want to see what you're doing over there that might be, something you can put my gate to use, by all means, have at it. It's rolling. Hey, state line operator, take care. Blessings and good graces. Motormouth Mall cruising this thing. They got down right there, breaker.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. I'm assuming it's the A gate of the day, but I'm afraid to change anything before I listen to your gate. Good morning again. I enjoyed the discussion. Y'all are sounding good. I'm back quiet.
10-4. No, it's just the B gate. The B gate, 042223B. And hello out there, Lionel. See you up in there around Lawrence, Kansas. Motormouth Mall waving. 431, your West Coast Beast waving. And yeah, so second gate of the day, and sounded superb. All right, I'm back out. Now you don't have to believe too much. It's best not to believe all that you hear in the break.
Hey Josh, skipping everything. I pulled out some of the lows and some of the highs. Does it sound any different or better to you, or does it sound better the other way there, Break?
It don't sound very good either way.
Okay, yeah, I just, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and save this as a new session, and that way I know what the difference is on the gate. Yeah, it sounded, I was listening to John's gate of me a little bit ago when he was talking to me 100, and it sounded like there was too much bottom end and too much high end a little bit. It sounded a little tight, didn't sound as open as I wanted it, so I kind of pulled the top and the bottom down a little bit to kind of open it up. But I didn't put my headphones on, so I'm just flying blind here, so I don't know what it's doing.
I'm going to get out of here and go get some headphones, a different set of headphones, and I'm going to want to listen to your audio, Bobby, on my YouTube feed. I want to see what you're hearing. I don't get a chance to do this very often, so go ahead and talk to Josh, and I'm going to go in the house and grab those other set of headphones, and and see if I can take a listen to my own YouTube feed. I don't think I've ever done that. So I'll be back in reading the mail. My SDR program stopped.
Also, just like what you're doing right now, you could push save and do something else and do the
Yeah, 10-4. Well, for now, I'm going to go back to the original one because I know what that sounds like in my headphones. I don't know what this one's doing, so I'm going to save this one and skip back over to the other one. Yeah, the noise level keeps changing on me too, man. Yeah, it's getting bad. It's definitely getting bad. Yeah, I switched over to an old audio chain I saved. This one's kind of old, pretty old. What does this one sound like if I'm getting through all that hash and trash? I mean, could you hear any difference in this one compared to the other one I was using?
not audibly. They both sound really good. I think I might prefer this one. It's got a little bit more space, but
Okay, now I switched back to the one I was originally on when I first got here. So the other one's got a little more bass than this one does right here. Okay, so we're still on the original one I was on when I first got here. And gonna switch over to this old one. Hold on a second. Okay, now we're back on the old one right there. Audio test, radio 1, 2. What was the difference in that? Okay, so overall the audio is pretty close to the same, but this one right here is a little more dense. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I just listened to the gate on John's end. Sounded a little bit tight, like it was really scooped out of the middle, like it didn't have enough mid-range. So, not really sure. I don't know if you're getting that on your end or not. Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, there's definitely not a night and day difference between the two. All right, well, I'll roll with this one until I get a chance to get the headphones on and, take a listen and listen to the gates and see what I think. Yeah, I generally just do a hotspot from my phone to link my computer. But yeah, the phone's got good internet. Oh, 10-4. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Good deal. Yeah, B is in Baker, J is in Jackal, M is in Michael, C is in Cat, C is in Cat, C is in Cat. So it's BJM CCC. Yep, at gmail.com. Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, take your time, man. Definitely much appreciated.
Holy cow, that was a lot of bass. Man, my YouTube feed and my over-the-air feed, I don't think sound anywhere near close to each other, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on, I guess, that I don't quite understand. Hooey has a whole lot of bass around the place. I got down, break it.
Were you talking to me, John?
Yeah, 10-4. Man, that was crazy.
Are you talking about your old videos when you were running rack gear?
No, I listened to my own gate. I rewound my gate back to earlier when I was talking and compared the audio of my audio compared to your audio. You sounded just like you do on my receiver. You sounded good, and I mean, I didn't sound bad, but when my audio comes in there, it's like this big boomy bassy thing. Holy cow. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the SGR receiver is going to receive more lows too. So I'm not hearing all that extended low end that you're hearing on the SDR. You know, this Striker, it's just a standard receiver, so it's lighter on the bass on this end than probably what you're hearing on the SDR.
10-4. Well, my SDR, or my video gate that I was listening to is recording you on the SDR. and then it's taking my audio off the Drake. So like if I reach over here and I turn the Drake off frequency, you can hear on my audio from the Drake. R8B, it's at 6 kilohertz, here's 4 kilohertz. That's 4 kilohertz on the Drake R8B right there, a little check. There's 6. So yeah, it was, it just, the Drake audio is so bold. And I guess I'll have to find this on the gate. It's going to be a long gate. But I'm going to feed my audio onto the gate from the SDR instead. Let's see what that does. No, I'm not. I've already done it. I'll find it. Anyway, yeah, it's just amazing. A lot of audio.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it does sound good over here. It sounds really good. I'm definitely not hearing any garble. You know, when you start pushing lows too much, you get that garbly sound in a standard receiver. I'm definitely not hearing any of that. So yeah, it sounds good on this this Striker. But yeah, it'd be interesting to hear it up against or not going through the Drake and just going straight through the SDR. That way, you kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. Maybe, like you said, the Drake sounds a little fatter, a little heavier or something.
Yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll switch over on the YouTube from this point on. I'm not sure what our time is on the YouTube gate here. Let me see where it is. An hour and 16 minutes. Holy cow. All right, from the hour and 16 minute point on, I'm going to switch my feed to the YouTube from the SDR instead of the Drake. So we'll switch over here. And there, and now we are feeding YouTube off of the SDR. So we'll see what that does. My headphones, YouTube, everything's being fed off the SDR. So now if I change frequency on the SDR, it should manifest itself as a change here on check 1 2. Yep, sure enough. All right, so now the SDR is putting my audio onto the gate as well as yours. So both of our audios are from the same source now. And since I'm running such low power, I'm not distorting my SDR. I'm not killing it.
Oh yeah, you start hitting that thing too hard, man. Starts plowing the front end of that receiver with all that power. You know what, John? I'm gonna, I don't know how much of a good copy you got on me right now with splattering conditions. I'm gonna switch over to this other one I just set up. Hold on a second. Okay, I just set this one up. I gotta turn the audio up a little bit. Just a little bit more there, right there. What do you think about this one? This one's a little bit different than the other one I was on. Does this one sound any different? Can you hear a difference there? Do you like this one better or the other one?
I like this latest one better. It's got a little bit more fullness, a little bit overall loudness, a little bit more boldness, and not as much of an emphasis on the highs, but they're still there, perfectly good. So I like this one a lot. And man, I can tell I'm listening to the SDR receiver, and man, your audio is wide. You go all the way out to that 5 kilohertz, and it sounds beautiful. And my audio is significantly narrower, and you can hear there's just a lack of highs. You know, it doesn't sound so bright, not so brilliant as your audio. I like your audio better, but I don't think I can manage to have that much more high frequency response without drastically changing a lot of other things over here. But man, yeah, off the same receiver, your audio is much more crisp, much more high frequency oriented than mine. I've got some energy getting out to 5 kilohertz, but my energy is pretty much right in at about 3,200. That's where it peaks out, kind of brick walls.
Yeah, 10-4. Well, you know, I mean, it's always unique to everybody's voice, I think, too. You know, I mean, I always kind of keep within mind, you know, whatever frequency a person's S, when they say the letter S, pronounce the word with S's in them. that's typically going to be, you know, like the highest frequency that comes out of a person's voice. And so you can't roll off before that. If you start rolling off too much before that, then it starts to sound muffled. But your S is much lower. It's like 3 point something K or something like that. My S is pretty much all the way out to 5 kilohertz. So I can't go any more narrow. I mean, I could roll it off with, you know, like a 12 dB per octave, but then I'll be bleeding over into the other channels when I do that. So I just run a brick wall, low pass filter at 5K, and it seems to work for me, but it's definitely going to be different for everybody, you know, depending on a person's voice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now when I look at my signal, I'm obviously quite a bit stronger than you are. So I was going to say if there was a density comparison, but I really can't do that because I'm hitting myself so hard. I don't have the ability to attenuate my own signal. Oh. Huh. My attenuator is set at 18 dB. Key up again. The whole time I've had you attenuated down on my overall attenuator. I haven't even looked at it today. I looked at the antenna gain control from my switch box, but my overall attenuator feeding the SDR was set at 18 dB. Go ahead and key down again. Let me see something.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, 18 dB. That's a lot of dBs, man. I mean, that's the difference between being quiet and being loud. So yeah, what kind of difference does it make? I mean, I was coming in, I think you said at 5S units before. So normally, like I was saying earlier, I hit you about 7 or 8. But I guess it depends on where you have that attenuation set up. So what difference did that make?
You're up at 7 now. I mean, that puts you back where you normally are. I should have thought to look at that when you first rolled into town, but I didn't. But yeah, you're back up at a 7. I could probably hear Josh better. I don't know if he disappeared or what happened there, but I could probably hear him better too because I had 18 dB on everything on my receiver. It was all rolled down because I had strong skip coming in from the east side, and the SDR doesn't like that real strong stuff. So I had that overall attenuated. And then when I was switching antennas and look at the antenna gain controls on the switch box, I had them all wide open, but forgot about this one. So yeah, you're all up in there now. What a big difference. I mean, you're just a lot louder, bolder, bigger, fuller, richer, everything. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. But still, I'm hitting myself at, right at about 5 over 9, 3S units over 9, and you're at 7. So there's still a difference between your signal and my signal. I was going to try to equalize them, but I can't get mine to go down lower. I can get yours to go up, as high as I did, but I can't get yours to go up as high as I am now. So they're not going to be equal.
Yeah, 10-4. One that I was on when I first rolled into town. Just give me a second. Okay, now this is the original one that I was on when I rolled into town. Now you should be able to hear a little bit better what a difference is, and now I'm going to switch back. This one's labeled 828, and I'm going to switch it back to that new one that you said you liked better. Alright, now this one's labeled 1130. I just save it according to the time I saved it. I mean, it makes it easier. But anyway, so what was the difference between these two that you heard?
Same thing. This one is bolder, a little bit heavier. Hello out there. I heard somebody say hello. I didn't know who that was. When you get to 28, it might have been Trash Man. But yeah, I like the bolder one better. There's a heavier, richer. The newer one is a better sounding file, I think. I'll play that all back real fast so you can hear it. Check it out.
Yeah, 10-4. One that I was on when I first rolled into town. Just give me a second. Okay, now this is the original one that I was on when I rolled into town. Now you should be able to hear a little bit better what a difference is. And now I'm going to switch back. This one's labeled 828. And I'm going to switch it back to that new one that you said you liked better. All right, now this one's labeled 1130. I just save it according to the time I save it. I mean, it makes it easier. But anyway, so what was the difference between these two that you heard?
It was definitely bolder, richer, fuller, bigger. I liked it. So that's my favorite one.
Okay, which one was your favorite one? The 828 or the 1130 one?
The latest one, the 1130 something. No, not the one that you rolled into town with, but the latest one that you just made.
Oh, 10-4, okay. I think that was Josh out there. Was that you, Josh?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sending over the gates right now, and unfortunately there is like 100 files because I was on the key, and apparently this radio, it breaks the files up whenever I key down, so I got to figure out that part of how to make one file. So they're all timestamped, though, so you should be able to see where each file is, the order that it goes.
Okay, yep, I'm sure I'll get it figured out. Well, good deal, man. I appreciate that. That'll be interesting to hear the difference between two different gates when I'm transmitting at, both two gates gating me at the same time I'm transmitting, see what the differences are. So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Very cool. I'm going to get out of here. I got a couple things I got to go do, and the skip is getting crazy. And I'll say 73 for now. You should enjoy those gates from Josh and my YouTube feed, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Bobby Motor Mouth Mall waving and stepping. Josh, have a good day. And I got to get out of here. I got to take care of some stuff. But it's been a whole lot of fun. Motor Mouth Mall cruising. And I'll let the YouTube gate roll if you and Josh are going to continue to talk. If you're going to make any changes, I'll let the gate roll.
Yeah, 10-4. Actually, I got to get rolling too myself. I gotta get over there and get that produce picked up. Got to pick up some lettuce out there in Guadalupe. So, yep, I'm gonna roll out and appreciate it, John. It's always really cool to be able to get out here and talk to you and hear your audio on my receive. And always appreciate the gates, man. It's always good talking to you about this stuff. It's a lot of fun. And so we'll catch up to you a little bit later on. And Josh, I'll be cruising by your neck of the woods here in just a minute.
All right, sounds good. Catch you later on. And by the way, in listening to my audio, is there anything that you would jump out at and say, hey, this needs more or less, this, that, or the other? Or would you say overall, just leave it alone for a bit?
Leave it alone. Leave it alone right there. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone. Trash man said that. I'm gone.
With a trash man. Hey, trash man. So leave it alone. Don't touch it. Hey, trash man. Good to hear you. Been there. Blessings, good graces around the Bighorn.
That's right, Motormouth Mall. Leave it alone right there. It sounded real good right there. Right amount of trouble, right amount of bass. It's all in line. Leave it alone. I'll see you.
410. I appreciate that. Take care. 73s. Right amount of trouble, right amount of bass. All up in line. Ain't no doubt about that. Take care. Trash man, Motormouth Mall, cruising. I got down.
And I heard your good talking station. Motormouth Mall, your friend down here around Tyler, Texas is gone.
410, smoking from Tyler, Texas. And also, if you can hear Bobby Boucher and 302 out there, you might want to talk to them a little bit there, but I got to get it jumping out of here. Hey, it's good to hear you've been there. Always a pleasure with the double measure. Trash man, Tyler, Texas. Motormouth Mall working a small ball peen mall. Got down right there, break.
And I heard you, Mr. Motormouth Mall. Mr. Motormouth Mall, take it easy, take them care. Trash man said, I'll get back with you, and I just walked on through.
And you sure did in fine style. Click.
Bye.
Oh, that Motor Mile radio. You got a copy on 33 Carolina Breaker?
43, I'm just walking out the door. I gotta go. I gotta take care of something. That's why I'm getting off the radio, but I do want to acknowledge you up in there, 43. Take care on the Carolinas. Motormouth Mall stepping. I gotta go.
All right, get out there, man. Just want to speak at you right good. 33 Carolina, we gone through.
410, take care of 73s. Big Hammer, big audio. Take care. I'll see you. Motormouth Mall stepping in 10-7.
Have a good day. I'm clear.
Click. I'll see you. Have a good day.
Hey, Bobby Boucher, you can QS slide to a different channel, let me know, and I'll switch over there and let the gate roll.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, if you can find a quieter one, I'll definitely go there. Yeah, man, it's definitely getting real rough right now. I'm rolling right now, so actually I'll be cruising by your place, so I'll be able to get you in a little bit better here in a minute.
Alright, well, I'll tell you what, I'll point towards the freeway then.
Yeah, 10-4.
Highway 1, or are you taking Main Street to Guad?
I'm going to go up 101 and then get off up there. I forget the name of the exit. It's up there by Guadalupe Cooling. It's terrible out here, right, with the conditions right now. It's rough, man. It's hard to do any local talking. You getting me in any better over there, Josh?
Oh yeah, yeah, I got you way better.
No, I'm gonna go up to I can't remember the name of the street. It's up there. Yeah, let me look at my GPS. But no, I'm gonna go rolling further north and then cut off up there.
Taft Street in Napomo or Willow?
Yeah, it's Willow.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let me Armstrong the beam over. Hold on.
Yeah, 10-4.
You're 40 over, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting you in a whole lot better too, man. You hear any background noise in this audio while I'm rolling? I'm doing about 60 miles an hour right now. Yeah, okay, good deal. Yeah, a lot of gating, a lot of noise suppression, all that fun stuff. It's, nature of the beast doing it in a big rig, I guess. Yeah, 10-4. I'm still getting you in real clear, man. You know, I'm coming up on Broadway right now. So, yeah, you're coming in still loud and clear. Okay, yeah, you're hitting me about 9S units right there. So, yeah, it's full quieting. You know, you're knocking everybody out. Yeah, it's pretty close to the same on this one right now. It kind of fluctuates, so you know how it is, man. Sometimes it's real loud and sometimes it quietens down a little bit. Depends on what the atmosphere decides. Yeah, I was talking to John. He, I guess he might have had a better signal on me than you did. And he liked this one a little bit better than that other one that I was on, the original one. But, yeah, I'll get a chance to listen to the gates, both yours and his, and see if I can hear what I'm doing. Because on this one that I'm talking on right now, I didn't even have it. I didn't listen to it. I just listened to the gate and made a couple of tweaks. So I don't even know if this is clean and sharp and clear or if it's a little bit scratchy sounding or anything like that. But I'll be able to put the headphones on a little bit later on and see what I think. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I was trying to push the highs too much and push too much lows too. I think it was just kind of pinching the audio a little bit. Sometimes, you know, you create a lot of phase shift issues in your equalizers and you start canceling out the mids and it'll start getting tight sounding and it's not a very good sound. Man, I'm getting some real strong Mexican skip in here right now. A lot of skip coming out of Mexico. You dropped out of there, Josh. I can't hear you right now, man. We've got conditions going crazy. Yeah, I don't know if you still got a copy on me, Josh, but it's pretty rough and tough out here right now, man.
Appreciate you turning your beam.
So I roll up in California like I always do. RC 222 wave. Hello, right back.